that for New Year's.
I had to see that.
Can't have that, sir.
I know I can't have that at all, at least for a while. At least for a while.
You can still have scotch though, right?
I can, but I haven't. So I just been kind of just dry ever since. So because I kind of want to do it, I want to do it all together and everything when I can. But so that's been kind of okay. I've been like, but
Yeah,
cigar-
liver's
Good
out.
evening, everyone. I just want to make you aware that we are live.
all
Okay,
right.
thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're just waiting for everyone else to join.
All right. Yeah, we're not talking no bad stuff, so it's all right.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. But yeah, so
Good.
I've been okay with that, but but cigar cravings have been just like ridiculous.
Don't come around me.
Oh man.
Hey, Clint.
Sure.
Hey, I like your background.
Yeah, I've been watching too much Suits rerun.
Looks like CNN.
What season are you on?
I don't even know.
I confess I actually used to watch that show.
I did.
I watched all of it. I mean, all the way to the end.
Looks like we're gonna have a short meeting today to make up for that marathon we had in December.
We ain't mad at you.
Hey, I'm already where I need to be, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen most of y'all since last year. How you doing? Happy New Year.
How you doing,
Happy
Councilman?
New
Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year. Well, happy better year anyway. Better days.
Hello, Madam Mayor.
Hey there, how are you guys?
Fine, how are you?
Good.
For the people who just joined, just letting you know we're live.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. We can go ahead and get started here. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We're ready to begin tonight's Gardena City Council meeting, our regular meeting for Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. Happy New Year's to everyone. Madam City Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Serta,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson,
Present.
Councilmember Tanaka,
Here.
Councilmember Cascanian,
Councilmember Cascanian has notified us of his absence and we've approved that.
and Councilmember Francis.
Here.
Okay. At this time, we're going to go into closed session. Madam City Clerk, has anybody from the public requested to speak on any session items?
Madam Mayor, we do not have anyone that's requested to speak on anything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So at this time, we're going to go ahead and go to our closed session, and hopefully we should be back by 7:30 to re-begin.
Hi, Acuna. Hi, Joel.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. We're just waiting for Mayor Serta to start the meeting.
What's the hissing sound? Happy New Year, Joel and Acuna. It's good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. You should say, are you enjoying Zoom school?
Well, it's kind of hard, but we're adapting to it.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting. I teach first grade, that's why I asked.
Oh,
Oh boy, but we're doing well. Young people are resilient. I've found that out, and it's the grown-ups that are having the hardest time. So
Yeah.
I appreciate your efforts.
Okay. Okay, I think we're all here now. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good. Becky, I think we're ready to go ahead and get started.
Yes, we are ready to go, Mayor Serta.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, we're ready now to begin our Gardena City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. Madam City Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Serta,
Here?
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson,
Present.
Councilmember Tanaka,
Here.
Councilmember Cascanian,
Councilmember Cascanian has notified us of his absence and we've approved it.
Councilmember Francis.
Here,
Okay. Let me just read this here as a formality here. In order to minimize the spread of the COVID-19 virus, Governor Newsom has issued executive orders that temporarily suspends requirements of the Brown Act. Please be advised that the council chambers are closed to the public and that some or all of the Gardena City Council members may be attending this meeting telephonically or by Zoom. If you would like to participate in the meeting, you can participate via the following options. The first way is view the meeting live on Spectrum Channel 22 or online at youtube.com/City of Gardena. The second way to participate is before the meeting. You can email the Deputy City Clerk at bromero@cityofgardena.org by 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting and write public comments in the subject line. Comments will be read into the time limit of up to 3 minutes. The third way to participate is during the meeting via Zoom webinar. You can join the Zoom meeting via the internet or via phone conference. The direct URL is https://us0.web.zoom.us/859-3800-2568. The phone number is area code 669-900-9128, and the meeting ID number is 859-3800-2568. If you wish to speak live on a specific agenda item during the meeting, you may use the raise your hand feature during this item that you wish to speak on. For non-agenda items, you will be allowed to speak during oral communication. And during a public hearing, you will be allowed to speak when I open the public hearing, and members of the public wishing to address the city council will then have the opportunity to have 3 minutes to speak. The City of Gardena thanks you in advance for helping us to take all of the precautions in preventing the spread of the COVID-19 virus. So at this time here, let's see, we just returned from closed session. Madam City Clerk, do we have?
There was no reportable action taken during closed session today.
Okay, thank you. We're going to first begin now with the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight we have 2 students from Maria Regina, Akuna Imachiti, and Joel Nawafar. And immediately following that, we will have our invocation tonight led by Councilmember Tanaka. So we're going to go ahead and begin with our pledges. And if I pronounce your name wrong, please say it because I may have butchered that, and I apologize for that in advance.
It's okay. My name is Akuna Imachete.
Okay.
My name is Joel Nawafore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys can go ahead and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
under God, indivisible, with
which is
liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Tanaka.
Madam Mayor. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just we ask for your love, your mercy, your guidance, and your hope for this new year. And we thank you that so far things have been pretty well. So Father, we just thank you for allowing us to go into this 2021 with great expectations. And so Father, we also pray for our country. We pray for our leadership. We pray for this council that we make wise decisions for our community, for the things that need to go forward to make it a better place. And Father, we just we thank you so much for watching all those right now with COVID, suffering from COVID, dealing with COVID. We pray for our first responders, our essential workers, those that are working so hard to try and keep this COVID under wraps. So Father, we just pray for everybody right now. We pray that things will get better in the coming months. We thank you for all that you provide for us. And so for his sake and his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, well, let's go back to our pledges for just a moment here. Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance was led by Akuna Imeche, who's in the 9th grade, and Joel Nawafar, who's also in the 9th grade. Both students are at Maria Regina Catholic School. They are both members of Maria Regina's athletic team and choir. Both have also held student council offices, and both of them are on the honor roll. So we thank you tonight for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Hopefully you'll have the opportunity to come back in the future and lead us, hopefully in public. But we thank you for doing this today. I know it's not easy doing it on Zoom, but you guys did a great job today. So once again, thank you guys very much. Yeah, give her a round of applause, everyone. A virtual round of applause. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And Councilmember Tanaka, thank you once again for leading us in tonight's invocation. We
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
that. Okay, so let's move on tonight. First up here, we have a proclamation. It is for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Week, which is going to be January 10th through the 18th. It's going to be accepted by Councilmember Francis. But before we do that here, let me just read the proclamation here. And see, here we go. Whereas in November 1972, the City Council of the City of Gardena granted a request to two well-known Gardena citizens to establish a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative Committee. And whereas with the enthusiastic support and commitment of its numerous members, that committee, now known as the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Cultural Committee of Gardena, has for the past 47 years presented annual commemorative activities dedicated to the memory of Dr. King, a leader in the cause of social justice and civil rights for all who struggle for a better relationship between people and for a better understanding of all cultures. And the committee will present their 48th annual citywide essay contest for students 3rd grade through the 12th grade. And whereas the community of Gardena, California is known for its multi-ethnic, multi-religion population representing a great cultural diversity, and whereas this multi-ethnicity and community service awareness of Gardena citizens encourages involvement in the promotion of programs and activities to observe Dr. King's birthday, thus pioneering such programs many years prior to Dr. King's birthday, January 15th being recognized and celebrated as a federal holiday, and whereas a local community, individual schools, and businesses are now even more involved, and their contributions help to provide for these commemorative activities, which allows Gardena citizens an opportunity to rededicate themselves to the principles that Dr. King inspired in our society in his lifetime. Peace among humanity. Now, let's see. The City of Gardena hereby proclaims January 10th through the 18th, 2021 to be Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Week in the City of Gardena, and we urge all citizens to be aware of these annual activities and to reflect upon the over 48 years of hard work and unselfish dedication of the members of the committee, and further to join in and support all of the events planned during this special week. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the chair of the Martin Luther King Culture Committee, Councilmember Francis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and honorable council members. On behalf of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Culture Committee, I appreciate and I thank you for your continued support across the years. It's very important that we commemorate his birthday. I tell my students that Dr. King is one of 2 Americans who are not presidents for whose birthdays we celebrate annually or national holidays. And we'll leave Cedar Chavez as a holiday in the state of California. But I thank you for it. And it's ironic to me that during his birthday celebration week, that man of peace, that we are experiencing some of the things that are going on in our nation's capital. So let's keep in mind that nonviolence, peaceful protest is the way to achieve change. And I thank you for this honor. I believe later on we'll have a small video presentation. Oh, and let me also say that due to COVID-19, our annual parade has been canceled. Well, not canceled, but it's been postponed until January 15th, 2022. So we look forward to seeing you all. But we did go forward with our annual essay contest. And just every school within our Gardena Community School wrote an essay. So we were overwhelmed. We had about 200 submissions, almost 200 submissions. which were all read very carefully and some more than once. But we'll announce the winners at our next council meeting. I wanted to make sure that the winners themselves were informed of their winning essays. So thank you so very much. I appreciate you continue on with celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. King. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. One thing I forgot to mention, if everyone could just make sure you silence your cell phones so that our phones don't go off during the meeting. Okay, so next thing we're going to move on to are the item number 4C2, which is appointments. Does any member of the council have any appointments to be made to any commissions, committees, councils, or boards at this time? If not, I'm going to move on to the consent calendar. Oh, I'm sorry. So I've just been notified that we have a video presentation for the Martin Luther King Cultural Committee. I guess we can go ahead and do that now. Let's do that now before we move on forward. Let's just go back for a second. Go ahead, Becky.
Madam Mayor, may I, am I still muted?
Go ahead.
Okay, Madam Mayor, thank you. May I also, I'd like to thank Stephanie and the Recreation Park staff for putting together that video, and also remind you that our celebration is postponed until January 15th, 2022. We'll see you all. And I also want to make mention that this year's Community Grand Marshals are Rachel and Philip Johnson, a longtime residents of Gardena, and they are our community grand marshals for not only 2021, but 2022 next year as well. And we're very excited about that, in which they will have our parade. And they made a lot of wonderful contributions to our city. It goes without saying, of course, Rachel was a city clerk, council member. She was over the cheer, the Gardena cheer. Her husband, Philip Johnson, was over the football programs, PTA. She's taught in city Gardena schools for 32 years. Have been residents here for practically their entire life. So they're our community grand marshals, and we were all excited about that. And again, thank you, Parks and Recreation staff, for that lovely video. And we look forward to seeing everybody January 15th, 2022. Save the date.
Okay, very good. Yeah, absolutely. It was a great video there put together. Okay, so let's move on to consent calendar here. Let's see, where did I leave off? Let's see, Madam City Clerk, has anybody from the public requested to speak on any consent item here?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay. With that being said, does any member of the council wish to discuss any items separately on the consent calendar?
I have none, Madam Mayor.
No? Okay, with that being said, can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar as is?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Second.
Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Councilmember Tanaka and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Henderson. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Tanaka,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Francis,
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay, so next is item number 7A, which is the Planning and Environmental Quality Commission action sheet. Just of note, the December 15, 2020 meeting was canceled. Let's see, we're going to move on to oral communications here. Madam City Clerk, is there anybody from the public wishing to speak under oral communications?
No, Madam Mayor, I don't see anyone with their hand up. And I don't have any correspondence. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, I'd like to interrupt. We do have one speaker,
Oh,
Miss Wendy Lee,
okay.
who is the library manager from Mamie Deer Library.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. I do see her hand up.
No problem. Okay, so just want to remind our speaker that they are limited to 3 minutes, and if we could kind of try to stick to that as close as possible. So let's go ahead and start with Ms. Lee. Ms. Lee, you can go ahead and start.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Having some audio issues. Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm Wendy Lee, manager of Gardena Mamie Deer Library, and I bring you news from the library. We have been offering and will continue to offer sidewalk service in the new year, where customers can pick up their holds in a safe and convenient way. It was very well used by the community last year, and I anticipate that it will continue to be popular until we'll be able to open our doors again, whenever that may be. We're also going to continue wireless printing pickup and virtual programs that you can find on lacountylibrary.org. And very recently, we added a new service where patrons can borrow a laptop and hotspot Wi-Fi kit to take home for 3 weeks at a time. There's no cost involved. All you need is a library card in good standing, and you can find more information at lacountylibrary.org. I would like to thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam City Clerk, is there anybody else who's requesting to speak?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, that being said, let's move on to item number 8B1, which is resolution number 6493. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, agenda item 8B1 is a public hearing for resolution number 6493, approving site plan review number 5-20, investing tentative track map number 4-20 for the construction of 52 new residential condominium units in the general commercial and mixed-use overlay C3 MUO zone per section 18.44.010.a and chapter 17.08 of the Gardena Municipal Code, and direction to staff to file a notice of exemption following a call for review on 2500 West Rosecrans, APN 4064-003-02840. On August 19, 2020, G3 Urban Incorporated submitted an application for site plan review and a vesting tentative tract map to develop 53 residential units, including 3 live-work units in 10 buildings located at 2500 Rosecrans, comprising of 2.35 gross acres, also known as a project. Project was reduced to 52 units in order to comply with the requirements of the LA County Fire Department for proper fire access driveway within the entrance of the development. On December 1st, 2020, the Planning Commission held a public hearing at which time there were no comments made from the public, after which the commission voted 5-0-0 to adopt resolution number PC 13-20, approving the project and directing staff to file a notice of exemption. On December 9, 2020, Councilmember Francis timely called for review of the project. The city's environmental consultant, Himley Horn and Associates Incorporated, conducted a CEQA compliance review for the project and presented those findings in a technical memorandum along with technical assessments that determined that the project is categorically exempt from the provisions of CEQA pursuant to guideline section 15332 as an infill development project. A subsequent memorandum was completed showing that the project still qualifies for a categorical exception under CEQA with a reduction in units and other modification made after the assessment was completed. There is no financial impact. What's required tonight is conduct a public hearing, receive testimony from the public, and approve resolution number 6493.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and open the public hearing here. Let's see.
Madam Mayor, I think we have a presentation from Mr. Berrigan.
Oh, okay.
To quickly go over for the project.
Okay. Ray, let's go ahead and start with you then.
Great, thank you, Madam Mayor. If I can get the PowerPoint presentation, please, Becky. Great, thank you. So good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The project you have before you is a call for review of site plan review 5-20, vesting tentative tract map 4-20. The project is located at 2500 Rosecrans Avenue, and it's a 52-unit condominium townhome project. Next slide. And as City Manager Osorio mentioned, the project was unanimously approved by this Planning Commission on December 1st. The subject entitlements are not subject to review by City Council. The project includes a site plan review and a vesting tentative tract map. So the Planning Commission action would be final unless there was an appeal by a member of the public or a call for review, as was done by Council Member Francis on November 9th, 2020. Next slide. The project, when it was initially submitted, included 53 units. However, due to some conflicts with LA County fire regulations, the applicant was required to reduce the unit or the project by 1 unit. The project includes 3 live-work units fronting Rosecrans Avenue, and the remaining units are 100% residential. The project includes 2 to 3 bedrooms options ranging from 1,260 square feet to 1,659, and there are 3 stories. And again, there are some live-work townhomes fronting Rosecrans Avenue. The project is a by right project and consists of, again, site plan review and vesting tentative track map. Next slide. And the project is highlighted in red. And as you can see, you have Rosecrans running north or east-west along the north side of the project site. You have single homes to the south and to the west, a vacant lot to the east with a car wash also to the east, and an existing shopping center located to the north and to the west of the project site. Next slide. This is a current view of the project site. This is where the live-work units would be located, as well as the main entrance, the pedestrian and vehicular entrance to the property. This was the former Shakey's Pizza that has been vacant for well over a decade. And next slide. And this is the area to the south of the Shakey's building, and also to the west of, and behind also the existing shopping center to the north of the project site. Next slide. So here's the site plan of the proposed project. The entrance to the project is you can access the project by through one driveway, excuse me, which is located to just between the existing shopping center and the proposed live-work units. It's one entrance to the project site, and it is due to the configuration of the center median on Rosecrans Avenue. The project site is accessed by vehicles. It's a one-way in and a one-way out. So one-way in for those vehicles traveling eastbound on Rosecrans, and those that exit the project site would exit the project, would make a right onto Rosecrans Avenue and travel eastbound. This is a 10 building project, and as stated before, there are the 3 live-work units facing Rosecrans Avenue, and the remaining 100% residential townhomes are located to the rear of the project site. There's also guest parking located throughout the project site. The majority of it is located to the rear of the project site along the property line that is shared with the existing single-family homes to the south. Next slide. And here's one of the elevations. This is the front elevation looking at the project site. To the left, you'll see the 3-story live-work townhome units, and the driveway to the right of the live-work townhome units. And then to the right of that would be the existing shopping center. Next slide. Here's a view of the proposed entryway. There's a little roundabout and with a tree in the center where the keypad would be to open the gates. This is a gated community. And so again, the applicant has met or exceeded the requirement for landscaping. The landscaping is drought tolerant as required, and also meets the LID requirements as required by the county. And LID is the low impact development for stormwater mitigation. Next slide. And this is a view, just a street scene of the interior of the space of the project. It's modern California architecture. Similar to the project down the street at the old taxi site. There are differences to set them apart, but this is kind of what we're looking for when we're looking for the type of architecture with lots of textures. There's different materials that are chosen by the applicant. So a lot of texture to create a lot of interest and a lot of different colors. Again, a lot of just aesthetic interest throughout the project site, not only the architecture, but also the landscaping. And next slide. And here's just a view of the proposed courtyard in between two of the buildings. Next slide. So the project is consistent with the general plan, and it meets various goals and policies. And on next slide, one of the main goals is a housing plan goal, which is to provide for adequate residential sites through appropriate land use and zoning to accommodate the city's share of regional housing needs. And again, although the projects that we have seen over the last year don't necessarily will get us to meet those RHNA numbers, we are inching towards them as we bring these projects before the City Council and the Planning Commission. Next slide. And if any of the grounds, this slide shows a list of grounds for denial of the tentative track map. If any of these can be, if these findings can be made, then the map can be denied. We could not make any of the findings, therefore the staff is proposing that the track map be approved. Next slide. Again, this was a site plan review, and the 49 residential townhome units and 3 live-work units are allowed by right in the mixed-use overlay zone. And the applicant did meet all the development standards that are outlined for the mixed-use overlay zoning district. Next slide. And the project is exempt from CEQA. City staff enlisted Kimley Horn to provide us technical assessments for transportation, noise, and air quality. And it was determined that there were no impacts related to those studies. Next slide. And also, in addition to that, because of the reduction in 1 unit, it was also determined that did not move the project out of the exemption status. Next slide. And with that, staff respectfully recommends that the City Council conduct a public hearing, receive public testimony, and adopt resolution number 6493, approving site plan review 5-20, investing tentative track map 4-20, subject to the attached conditions of approval, and directing staff to file a notice of exemption. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have, as well as Amanda Acuna, our senior planner, Lisa Kranitz, our assistant city attorney, and also Rita Garcia from Kimley Horn, should you have any questions regarding the technical assessments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now I will officially open the public hearing. Let's see, let's begin first. Madam City Clerk, do we have anybody from the public wishing to speak on this item?
Yes, we do. Madam Mayor, Zahid Ahmed.
Okay.
Yes, hi, good afternoon, City Council. Oh, yes, hi, good afternoon, City Council, and thank you for letting me speak. So I just had a quick question. Are there any low and moderate income level units? I mean, I personally believe there should be at least 1 low income unit and then 1 moderate income unit, even if they are a little smaller in size, square footage. I think we should, diversify. If it's 49 units plus the 3, live work units, so that's 52 units there. If we can even incorporate maybe 1 low income house, even if it's a 1 bedroom or a studio unit, and then 1 a moderate with 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. Just having that as a, to diversify the housing options. Since other cities in the South Bay, Irvine, California, has been really good, where when they're building, they're incorporating, all levels of income, into housing. And this is only going to be one low income and one moderate income. And of course, the square footage could be shrunken. Doesn't have to be, a large unit. It could be maybe a 1-bedroom and then a 2-bedroom unit, and maybe even a senior housing element, maybe one unit being a 55 and above. So that's something, just a suggestion, but just for a future project, or if it's possible, can be incorporated in this. Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any more people from the public wishing to speak?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, let me see. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments at this time?
Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Henderson, I got like 3 questions
Go ahead.
for Ray. Okay, Ray, first question is, did G3 do the customary notifications to the neighbors behind that area?
Sorry about that. I'm going to defer to Amanda. She was processing this project. And also, I'm sorry, G3 is also available to answer any questions as well.
Oh, okay.
I believe, yes, we have Mitch Gardner as
Oh,
well.
I see you, Mitch. Okay, go ahead, Mitch. Let me know. Did you guys speak with the community next to this project, adjacent in the rear?
Good afternoon. This is Mitch Gardner. We appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys today. In regards to Mayor Pro Tem Henderson's question, we went through the standard requirement for notifications to the neighbors within a 300-foot radius of the property. So yes, everyone was notified.
Okay, so nobody had any questions about setback or anything from the units that are on the end then, right?
No, in fact, we mirrored, I don't know if you recall our first project down the way. There's an easement that runs along the back of all of those properties. It's a 40-foot wide easement from our first project all the way down to Van Ness, behind all of those commercial properties to this location. So we mirrored the exact same design that was previously approved down at that project to try to get the townhomes as far away from those single family homes as we could. So it goes property line, block wall, parallel parking space, road, sidewalk, then your townhome. So we're, our first building is some 50 feet away from the property line. And then, whatever the setback of the adjacent neighbors is. So you're looking at probably 60, 75 feet minimum between our first building and the actual structure of one of the single family homes.
Okay. Thank you for that. And the next one will be for Mr. City Manager and Ray, as well as you, Mitch, in regards to make sure that we get some participation of local hire as well as local vendors in the new construction.
I can certainly answer that. My brother Herb and I actually were invited to participate in the Gardena Economic Business Advisory Committee meeting, and we spoke with them for some time. And in fact, tomorrow at 10 a.m., we're meeting with a local vendor, Tesoro, who provides products for multifamily housing. So we're doing the due diligence. We buy lumber from a local company here in town. So we are working on that, but it being private development and finding the appropriate resources in the trade pool that can actually handle the scale of construction is a bit of a vetting process. So we are participating in that, and we are doing our very best to find local resources.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more questions or comments?
Madam Mayor.
Go ahead.
So if I see this correctly, the strip mall and the car wash are going to remain? Is that, or am I not reading it right?
Correct.
The strip
Correct.
mall and car wash are going to remain, and that driveway that runs along Shakey's, with the existing Shakey's Pizza, that's where the easement is?
The driveway into the project site and the live work units would be located approximately where the Shakey's building property, where the Shakey's property currently is.
Yeah, because there's a driveway that runs along side of the car wash. Is that how you're going to use that as the entrance, I guess, to the rear of the apartments? I mean, the projects.
There will be some modifications to the sidewalk as part of the project, as part of the approval and the conditions of approval. The applicant is required to replace the curb gutter and sidewalk, so there will be some modifications to accommodate for the new driveway into the project site.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'll jump in here. We everything that you see out there between the shopping center and the car wash, going all the way back in, will be completely removed and redone, including the curb and the gutter, as much as is required along Rosecrans to accommodate the new entrances, which would include new curb, gutter, sidewalk, all of those things along Rosecrans.
And the car wash will remain, is that correct?
Car wash remains.
Okay, and the other question regarding Mr. Ahmed's question about the low-income, setting aside a unit for a low-income housing or senior housing, is that a possibility at this time?
That is not something that we are considering on this site. We have other projects where we are looking into those options. This site just did not warrant that. So the answer to that question is just simply no.
Okay.
Any more questions or comments? Okay, I have a couple of questions here. So when this project was initially described, it says 52 condominium townhomes. Now, my understanding, a condominium has somebody on top and below you, but a townhome, it's nobody is above or below you. It's just on the sides. Can you clarify a little bit better for me?
So it's really a definition of the definition. Really, it applies to townhomes and condos. It's the subdivision of airspace.
Okay.
So where you have maybe a single family home, you have a single lot that is subdivided. On this one, on this project, which would be a townhome, but also condominiums, which would be like, the 1 story, the 2 5-story building, say, where you live above and where somebody lives above you and below you. Those are all subdivided, right? You own your own condo, but you don't necessarily own the land underneath it. In the same way that you own for a townhome, you own your townhome, but you don't necessarily own the rest of the property around you, if that makes sense.
Hey, Ray, if you don't mind, I'll jump in here a little bit too in regards to the language for townhomes and condominiums.
Okay.
Nowhere in any of the building codes or anything is the word townhome mentioned. It's only condominium. So townhome is a bit of more of a descriptor to kind of help you identify the difference between a traditional condo, which you're right, Mayor Serta, could represent side-by-side units or stacked flats. But townhome is more of just a language that we use to identify more of a row housing type of a situation. So, in terms of building code, it's never mentioned. Townhome does not exist. It's all condominiums, but we use it as developers and planners to just identify a different product type.
Okay. Where am I reading here? Okay, so in essence, somebody above you and below you still.
No, Mayor Serta, a townhome is not a legal, again, it's just a descriptor. It's essentially a 3-story condominium, but they are still legally considered condominiums for purposes of the Department of Real Estate and how they are divided for the Subdivision Map Act, because there's still common ownership of all of the land and common area in the property, as opposed to having your own lot. So in this case, there will not be a separate family above or below. It will be like the other units that we've been approving, that the developers have been doing, of 3-story townhome style units.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Okay. Second question, can you give me the price range? Maybe Mr. Gardner can do that?
Yeah, I'm hesitant to say too much, but we're going to be in the $500,000 to $600,000 range, likely.
Okay, 500 to 600,000. Okay, and I really appreciate you guys including that the plant schedule in there, because that's always important to me, that landscaping in there as well. And something that I was reading in here were, of course, you're required by the fire department to have fire hydrants. For a project like this, if what is this, 52 units, how many fire hydrants would be needed for a project like this here? I'm just curious.
We will likely place 2 inside the project, at the end, one at the end of the main boulevard and one probably closer down to the southwest corner of the property. The fire department actually identifies those.
Okay.
And they locate those on a map for us. We don't get to choose where those go. That is, that's a directive.
Okay, got it. Got it. And also looking at the map, you know, I love the fact that you guys had that same driveway in the back along with that first project, so that any future projects coming in at some point, it will connect here. I think that's really important here, so that we can, you know, have access all the way across if you're coming in on the project off of right at the corner there of Rosecrans.
Yeah, Van Ness.
So that it's at some point that this will connect moving forward. But again, I think the project looks really good. And I think once before I'd inquired, we are still talking about upward lighting throughout the project in various places. Is that correct?
Yeah, we actually go overboard. We've already started to source specimen trees. The walnut tree at the main entry gate, the name for the project came from going out to the Gardena willows and meeting with Cheryl Sherman. You know, we originally wanted to put a big willow tree there, but they're not great in urban environments.
Okay.
And then she shared with us there was a historic walnut, several hundred years old, couple hundred feet tall, that had recently met its demise in Gardena, that there were still remnants of it available that we could transplant. So we talked about, you know, naming the project Walnut Place, taking a portion of that tree, maybe having a plaque put in somewhere where we could put a piece of that tree to kind of bring some of the history of Gardena to our projects. So we're a little more thoughtful about our naming. We're trying to bring, you know, historic elements of Gardena into our project, so everything kind of makes sense and ties together.
Okay, I see. Well, I think that's great. I think that's really important, especially in a project like this here. So I'm really glad to hear all of those things. It's a beautiful project. I'm happy to see something like this going onto Rosecrans and North Gardena. It's beautiful, and I'm glad you guys go overboard with the lighting, because I think that's important when you have new projects like this to really stand out, you know, so that people can see this is something new, something very modern and innovative that we're doing here in Gardena. So that's all the questions I have. Does anybody else have any additional ones?
Madam Mayor, you kind of created a question for me when you talked about the ingress egress. So am I correct in Ray Berrigan saying that there's a right turn only leaving the project, but you could actually turn from west to south into the project?
It's a right turn in traveling eastbound and a right turn out traveling eastbound.
Okay, so I guess thinking traffic wise, people trying to get west on Rosecrans from the project, are they going to be causing U-turns over by Perchie? Or is there going to be a no U-turn there?
There are U-turn from, I was out there the other day, and U-turns are allowed at that turn pocket. So that could potentially be a possibility. This project was reviewed, was screened out of VMT, so there were no impacts there. We did not do an LOS study, level of service study, but yeah, that could be a possibility to make a U-turn there if they want.
You don't mind, I can jump in here.
Go ahead, Mitch.
We work with Public Works pretty closely when we do the street improvement drawings. So as we're doing the work on Rosecrans, just like down the street on the taxi site, we were actually, it was actually approved to do something different. And then when we submitted the plans, we started to have conversation about it. We reevaluated what we thought was the most reasonable solution. and we actually changed the documents after working with Public Works closely. So I'm assuming we'll go through the same process here. Should there be something with Public Works, we could sort that out if they seem to identify that there's a potential problem.
So did the police department have any input into the traffic issues?
Not that I'm aware of.
And no, then this was routed to all departments prior to going to Planning Commission. And Amanda, do you have any, were there any comments by the police department?
No.
Thank you.
Councilman Tanaka, let me jump into your question because maybe I'm a little confused here. I know when you come down Perchie Street, if you're going south down Perchie, there's a light there now, the light that we just put there a couple of years ago.
Right.
And when you cross that light, you can either go east or west on the Rosecrans, or you can drive directly into the car wash. So
Right.
I'm trying to understand maybe your question, Councilmember Tanaka, which way are you talking about a person making a U-turn? Because I'm wondering, will that light now affect how?
Well, right. So if you have to, if it's RTO from the property on the Rosecrans.
I'm sorry, RTO, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. My traffic stuff got in there. Right turn only. Okay. So if it's right turn only on the Rosecrans from the project, people wanting to go west on Rosecrans are now going to have to U-turn. So
yeah, why couldn't they
do they need a left? Do they need a pocket there that says U-turn okay? Or I don't know. That's just the police traffic guy in me.
No, Madam Mayor, I agree with Councilmember Tanaka because there is a traffic signal there, and you can right now, if you're leaving the car wash, you can go left, and if you wait for the traffic to subside, you can make a U-turn there.
Okay.
So right turn only, I guess is okay, but because the traffic light is there, how are we going to accomplish? People will want to go west. I think you're maybe creating a traffic problem that could easily be resolved just by a left turn signal or additional signal there, some kind of light where people can turn left if they wanted to, as well as right. And if they needed to, miss their spot, they could make the U-turn there or turn left and approach. And as the mayor says, you can go straight across, because when I go to the car wash, I go straight across the intersection into the car wash. I don't have to go right and left or anything like that. So has that been considered, or is that a consideration, or?
The entrance to the project site is very close to that Perchie Rosecrans intersection, so it isn't aligned with the intersection, but it is close enough so that there is opportunity to go across to, I'm assuming, to go across to the turn pocket to turn left onto Perchie or do a U-turn or go right. It is very close to that intersection, so there's it would be, I don't know what the possibility is to put a left-hand turn out of the project site. I think there would create more conflicts.
Yeah. Well, if the police department didn't have any complaints or any suggestions, then I'm assuming that it was okay.
There's already a left turn pocket into the bank parking lot. Then there's a left turn at Perchie.
Right.
So we're not going to get a left out of our project there because there's a median in the way for the left turn pocket that goes into the bank parking lot. There's no way to reconfigure that. People are going to be forced to turn right in and right out. There's no way to go west on Rosecrans.
Thank you.
Okay. And if for whatever reason it ever becomes a problem, we're a small enough city, I think we can always adjust that or fix that. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Just one more.
Go ahead.
So is it that we talked about tandem parking at one point? Is that tandem parking on these units?
We have no tandem parking.
Okay, side by side. Okay. All right.
Any other questions? Comments?
Nope.
Okay, if not, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. And at this time, I'm going to ask if I can get a motion to adopt resolution number 6493.
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Okay, Madam City Clerk, at this time, Councilmember Tanaka made a motion to approve, and I seconded this. Can you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Tanaka,
Yes.
Mayor Serta,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck on the project. I'm sure it's going to look really good, and looking forward to seeing something else new on Rosecrans now. So,
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Mitch.
thank you. Okay, with that, let's move on to item number 8C1. It's the COVID-19 update. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, tonight's COVID update is as of January 12, 2021. As I report this, I can't help but say that the cases in both cases and our death counts here in the city of Gardena has been both horrendous and terrifying. The last time I reported the COVID update was on December 15th. At that point, our case count was at 2,530 cases. And today, case count that has increased over 2,000 cases. We're now at 4,642 cases. Our death count from last month is also terrifying. We've lost an additional 32 residents of the city of Gardena, bringing our death count to 100 as of today. For the last 2 weeks, sorry, I should really be sharing my screen here. Apologize. For the last 2 weeks, the number of positive cases in our city has increased 27.5%, with an average daily increase of 1.85%. In comparison, LA County has experienced an increase of 24.89% over the last 2 weeks. Our healthcare facilities are experiencing surges and staff shortages. Long-term care facilities remain stable. South Bay infection rate among all 15 South Bay cities, Inglewood has the highest infection rate at 9.3% per capita, followed by Hawthorne at 8.7. Lawndale is at 7.89, and our city again is at 7.82%. LA County is still under the regional stay-at-home order. The LA County stay-at-home order has been revised and is still in effect as of December 30th, 2020. There is a mandatory directive on travel. LA County has implemented the mandatory directive on travel requiring individuals entering LA County from anywhere outside Southern California to self-quarantine for the next 10 days. And on December 3rd, 2020, state announced that a regional stay-at-home order will go into effect a day after a region has fallen below 15% ICU bed availability. Sad to say that Southern California's ICU availability is at 0%. I'm going to go over our two facilities here in Gardena in just a moment. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. This is the graph that shows our percentage change and daily rate of increase. You see that big spike on the 15th of December, as I reported previously. That spike is representative of the cases that we saw for Thanksgiving. And then you see, gradual decreases of cases. However, cases are still high. But remember that the Christmas and New Year surges are still not represented on this graph. There's usually a 2 to 3 week lag time. So by the time I report again for the second meeting in January, we should be seeing the surges in our dashboard. I wanted to report our two hospitals here in Gardena, Kindred Hospital and Memorial Hospital of Gardena. Kindred has a 4-bed ICU, and Gardena Memorial has a 10-bed ICU, both of which are at 0% capacity. In fact, I think they're probably at 200% over what they can handle. Here again, it shows the number of COVID-19 patients they have, number of occupied beds and vacant beds. These are non-ICU beds. They have some vacancies, but these are not ICU. The ICU beds are fully occupied, and there is a waiting line. This is just a representation of the LA County vaccine priority and allocation. There are 2 phases in the prioritization, and each phase has tiers. So phase 1 has 3 tiers, and then phase 2, and that's still being proposed. I'm sure there's some tiering for that, and that's going to be available spring or summer of 2021. Some of the examples of the phase 1 tier 1, 2, and 3 are on the screen. Obviously, they prioritize that from the most exposed members of healthcare industry to tier 3, which is the less exposure. And then phase 1B has 2 tiers. Examples would be persons that are 75 years and older for tier 1, and then folks that are in the education, childcare, emergency services, and food and agriculture do fall under the phase 1B tier 1. Tier 2 are persons over 65 to 74 years of age, and then as you can see here, in certain business sectors, transportation, industrial, critical manufacturing, so on and so forth. And then phase 1C would be, as you can see here, persons 50 to 64 years of age, and then followed by persons 16 to 49 who have underlying health conditions, and then the folks that fall under the business sectors seen here. And then lastly, as I said, phase 2 is being proposed. Those are going to be probably your general public. Again, that's not going to be until about spring or summer of 2021. Mayor Serta, that ends my COVID-19 report.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to item number 9A1, resolution number 6492. Mr. City Manager.
Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, agenda item 9A1 is resolution number 6492. Resolution of the City Council of the City of Gardena expressing support for actions to further strengthen local democracy, authority, and control as related to local zoning and housing issues. The City of Gardena has received a request from the California Cities of Local Control, a coalition of cities in the state that support the concept of local control in municipal governance. Several California cities have adopted resolutions that express opposition at the proliferation of efforts by the California legislature in Sacramento to pass laws that affect local control as it relates to zoning and land use authority. Those cities have expressed support for the work of the coalition, which seeks to protect local self-determination and limit the ability of the California legislature to influence local matters through legislation that directly affect municipal land use and housing decisions. At the December 15, 2020 council meeting, Mayor Serta and Councilmember Tanaka requested that this item be brought forward at the future council meeting for consideration. The proposed resolution expresses support for actions to strengthen local control as related to zoning and housing issues. There is no financial impact. What's required is adopt resolution number 6492.
Okay, are there any questions or comments on this item here?
Well, Madam Mayor, right now, South Bay COG and a lot of the other organizations in other cities right now, we're trying to take back local control, especially when you have issues like the arena numbers and healthcare, and how the health department is putting restrictions on cities, lumping them into just one big county.
Right.
But we think that local control needs to actually be something that stays with us, so that we can't be forced into doing things that just because. We see seem to understand more about what we do for our own cities and understand our own cities more than someone that doesn't even know who we are. So that's why I'm in support of this asking for California local control.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'm also in support of this, this resolution. I know it was out of a concern for housing, create more housing in our local cities, but basically what they have done, the state has done is tied our hands in a lot of ways where we can't deny projects. There's something we can do. We have to accept the project and however it comes in, as long as it meets certain requirements. And I do think that's unfair. And the arena numbers, I think our number's 5,000. And although we're doing our very, very best to achieve, with 5,000, we would have to tear down half the city and rebuild it. It also encourages these multi-unit high density projects that may not, may create other problems and have other unintended consequences. So I'm glad there's an article in the Daily Breeze just this weekend about this particular issue. And so I'm glad that we are pushing back on it, and as we rightfully should, because as Councilmember Tanaka says, we know what's best for our city. We have a better idea, and we should have some say in how we want to address the issues of homelessness and our housing crisis in the state of California. So I'm glad for this, and thank you, City Manager, for this resolution.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. When you look at even like ADUs, moving forward with those, it didn't take into account how that's going to affect our infrastructure or the parking. And I've seen other cities, communities where you drive down a street and there's nowhere to park. People double park just to run into someone's home, which now in turn blocks the street. So it's very difficult. So what's been mentioned prior, I think we're going in the right direction with this here. If there are no more comments, can I get a motion to adopt resolution number 6492?
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay. Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Henderson and a second by Councilmember Tanaka. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay, next up is item number 982, resolution number 6494. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, agenda item 982 is resolution number 6494, designating certain members of the Gardena City Council to serve as representatives in the South Bay City's Council of Governments, or South Bay COG, governing board. The bylaws of the South Bay City's Council of Government require that cities designate their delegate and alternate to the South Bay COG by way of resolution from each member city. Council reconsidered the regular annual assignments of Gardena's City Council delegates and alternates to outside committees at their meeting on December 15, 2020 to select a new alternate to the South Bay COG. At that time, Councilmember Eric Iskanian was approved as alternate to the governing board of South Bay COG. Councilmember Jiradi Tanaka will still serve as the delegate. There is no financial impact. What's required is adopt resolution number 6494.
Okay, are there any questions or comments?
Madam Mayor, this is Mayor Pro Tem Henderson. I was going to say, I just moved that we adopt this resolution.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Just refresh my memory. At the last meeting, I guess he said he was okay with this. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, he had a problem with the actual meetings, but the steering committee meetings, which are on Mondays, he was okay with.
Okay, sounds good. Mayor Pro Tem, you made a motion to adopt resolution number 6494. Was there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Henderson and a second by Councilmember Francis. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Tanaka.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay, next up is item number 983. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, agenda item 983 is the approval of the amendment to the California Cities Gaming Authority, or CCGA, Joint Powers Agreement to admit the city of San Jose. The CCGA, a joint powers authority, was established on November 13, 2019 by the execution of a joint powers agreement between the city of Gardena and the city of Inglewood. Subsequently, the city of Colma was admitted as a member of the CCGA by the approval of an amendment by the three cities. Section 7.1 of the Joint Exercise of Powers Agreement provides for the admission of additional governmental entities as members of the authority upon such terms and conditions provided by the board with the consent of a 2/3 vote of the board and by the execution of a written amendment to the agreement by all members of the CCGA, including the additional member. It is mutually beneficial and desirable to admit the city of San Jose as a member of the CCGA. The CCGA Board of Directors voted to admit the city of San Jose as a full voting member on December 16, 2020. On January 5, 2021, the City Council of San Jose elected to become a member of the CCGA by adopting the attached amendment as required by agreement. The provisions of the amendment are summarized as follows. Recitals set forth the historical and operative facts pertaining to the formation and existence of the CCGA and those related to admission of the City of San Jose. Paragraph 4 provides for the admission of the City of San Jose as a member by the current members of the CCGA through the consent of the cities of Colma, Inglewood, and Gardena. Paragraph 5 commits the City of San Jose to be bound by the terms and conditions of the amendment including the obligation to pay the annual contribution in the amount of $30,000 as set forth in paragraph 4.2 of the agreement. Paragraph 5 grants the City of San Jose the right and duty to appoint one of its council members to serve on the board of directors of the CCGA, including the right to participate and vote on all matters before the CCGA board of directors, and to appoint another one of its council members to serve as an alternate to the CCGA board of directors. Therefore, in order for the City of San Jose to become a member of the CCGA, the cities of Gardena, Inglewood, and Colma must agree to admit that the City of San Jose as a member by way of approving the attached amendment to the CCGA Joint Exercise of Powers Agreement. There is no financial impact. What's required is to approve the amendment to admit the City of San Jose.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
Madam Mayor, this is Mayor Pro Tem Henderson. More of a question for you. So do you think we'll start to be able to coerce or get some of the other cities that have gaming to join this JPA and everything? And what are you guys going to target first once we kind of get back and start going to Sacramento?
Oh, absolutely. We'll have more cities joining us. The difference now with the new JPA versus the old JPA is that we were just limited to LA County. So that was the card rooms like in Bell, Commerce, and so on. I think it was like 7 of us. When our new CCGA, it's any small to medium sized card rooms in the state of California. So we're open to so many more that can come in now. So as more cities are hearing about us and seeing how influential the CCGA is as it relates to Sacramento and just moving things forward, even as it relates to this pandemic and being able to work with Barbara Ferreira in our own city here to help make some changes as far as getting our casinos open sooner with the outdoor entertainment. It's been very influential. So that's why other cities are looking to the idea of joining the CCGA now. So absolutely, I think they're going to be definitely trying to get on board now.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Madam Mayor, I just want to just give you and Rudy kudos for what you are doing with this JPA, because without you guys taking the lead, putting the pressure on Sacramento, taking the issues to them, we wouldn't be where we are now, because I think we've actually, with you guys, you've actually put a little bit of a crimp in what the state is trying to do to us, and that you guys are forging forward. So keep fighting the fight. I think you guys will do great.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, if not, can I get a motion to approve the amendment?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Councilmember Tanaka and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Henderson. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Tanaka.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay. And next up is, thank you guys for that, appreciate it. Next up is council directors. Does any member of the council have any directives at this time?
Yes, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Henderson. I would like the city staff to do some investigation on West Basin Municipal water. There's a project happening in North Gardena, and it's stated that it's going to be serving Perry Middle School and Mos Fukai with recycled water. But I just want to see if we can get some follow-up on that.
Mayor Pro Tem, we're already working on that. We were contacted last week.
Okay.
And it's in the hands of the city staff. And Mr. City Manager, go ahead and explain. I'm sorry, I just took it from you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr.
Yes,
City
Madam
Manager.
Mayor Pro Tem, we are well aware of, thank you for bringing this up again. We're well aware of the project that the West Basin is putting on in conjunction with the Army Corps of Engineers. What we're doing with city staff is doing our due diligence, making sure we have a cost benefit analysis, because this is going to come at a cost. We want to make sure that it is cost neutral, that if we have to weigh the benefits versus the cost, obviously. We should have something ready as far as a report format for you sometime next week.
Thank you, because that was going to be my issue with them doing something on our behalf that we may or may not have asked for, and then kind of hanging us with a cost for purple pipe, which we probably would need probably in Mos Fukai. But thank you for that.
Yes.
That's all I had.
Okay, are there any other directions at this time? Okay, if not, let's move on to our city manager's remarks regarding our previous directors in council. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I was going too fast.
That's okay. Just a couple of things. The last city council meeting, I just asked a question if whether or not it's possible for us to begin looking for a community development director or a full, because we have an acting one. I was just wondering if we could, because we have so much going on with the general plan amendment, all that coming up. I was wondering if it's possible to look into that.
Is that all you got, Councilwoman?
No.
I'll second that. Oh, okay. I was going to second that one.
Okay, yeah, because I just think when somebody's acting, we should at least move forward. That's just a very important position. So I was wondering if we could.
So just so we're clear on the directive, is the directive for us to begin finalizing a permanent community development director, or look into do a study? So is the directive for us to
well, maybe a search. Could we start looking just to make sure? I'm always in favor of making.
I would like to defer to City Attorney Vasquez to see, because this is a personnel matter. I'm not sure if
It is a personnel matter. You can make the suggestion to the city manager if it's up to his prerogative, whether we have an acting position, and I'm sure there's a reason why we have an acting position. You and him can discuss this matter, and he can probably explain to you why we're at that point with regards to an acting community development director. But it's mainly a personnel issue that's within his purview.
All right, I was just wondering. I was just asking a question. And I have another question.
Go ahead.
For in the event that any pandemic or COVID relief money comes down from the state or federal government, I know we set aside money for rental assistance, helping renters. Is there any way that we can set aside some money for homeowners, mortgage relief, or with the mortgage space? We have homeowners that have suffering from job loss and may not be able to meet their mortgages. Is there any plans for something for homeowners?
So, Councilmember Francis, the rental assistance program that we have, we did not set aside any of that from any funding sources within the city of Gardena. Those were provided to us by the CARES Act. And so we have to we're just facilitating the distribution of the funds. Obviously, if there is any new opportunities for new funding for any matter, we would facilitate those as well. But we have not set aside any funds from, let's say, general fund or any funding that we have here in the city. Those came from CARES Act.
I was wondering, could we set aside something like that for homeowners? Because
that would be a policy decision from the city council as far as budgeting for that. It would have to come from, we would have to bring an agenda to provide you with a budget adjustment, and then the city council would have to approve that budget.
So there's no state or federal money that we could set aside, just as we did for renters relief. There's nothing we can set aside for the homeowners.
Again, any funding that we receive from the state or the federal government, and I'm not referring to anything that's CARES Act related, those funding opportunities have to be spent for their specific purpose. Any federal or state, for instance, senior programs, et cetera, they have to be spent on those specific programs. Again, CARES Act is the one that's designed to do something like this. So for the city of Gardena to set aside any funding, it would have to come from the general fund. Well, because we're not allowed to spend special revenue funds for, let's say, mortgage relief or anything like that.
Well, it's not the same as we did when we had the CB, community block grants, and we pulled some of that money to help with renters relief. Isn't that what we did?
Yes, but we received a specific approval from the Community Development Block Grant, which is a federal grant. They gave us specific instructions to do that. We don't have any pool of money like that anymore. What we're banking on is new funding opportunities from the CARES Act.
Okay. All right.
Any more directives?
No, that was all I had.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Okay, if not, we're going to move on to the city manager remarks regarding our previous directives and council items. Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, sir, the members of the city council, I have two memos that I prepared and distributed to you in response to directives. The first memo was in response to Councilmember Francis' directive to improve the city's Dine Gardena Instagram account. This is to better help our restaurants cope with the current situations we have related to COVID and economic uncertainties. Second memo I have is to clarify the concerns brought by Councilmember Francis in the last meeting regarding the reimbursements of costs for staff and attorneys' fees with regard to developers here in the city of Gardena. I do have an announcement that we're having a joint blood drive. And it's hosted by the UCLA Blood Drive, which is on Tuesday, February 9th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Over at the Rush Gym at 1651 West 162nd. And we just asked the general public to please, we strongly encourage you to make an appointment so that we can facilitate and observe social distancing during this event. And lastly, we have a short PowerPoint presentation with regard to our holiday home decoration contest.
Madam Mayor, I need to step away real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so next slide. So the city, in conjunction with the Gardena Beautification Committee, held a holiday home decoration contest in this year in December 2020. We received a total of 26 submissions from our residents. And from that, we selected 3 winners and was chosen by the Beautification Committee. And each of the winner received a special yard sign, a certificate from the Beautification Committee, and a gift card to the Home Depot. First place received $100 Home Depot gift card. Second place was $75 gift card from Home Depot, and then third place received a $50 Home Depot gift card. Next slide. So for third place went to Elaine O'Brien and Tony Calvin of 14851 Daphne Avenue, and we have some pictures of their wonderful home, very, very well decorated. So this is our third place winner. Congratulations to Elaine O'Brien and Tony Calvin. Next slide. Second place went to the Hampson Miller home of 2023 West 147th Street. Very colorful, a lot of LED lights, as you can see here on the 2 pictures that we have. So congratulations to the Hampson Miller home. And for our first place, next slide. First place went to Annie Weaver of 16123 Halldale Avenue. We have some beautiful shots here of the lighting and decorations of her home. So again, congratulations to our first place winner, Annie Weaver of 16123 Halldale Avenue. And that concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Thank you. So next up, let's go with council remarks. We're going to begin. Are you back? We're going to begin with Mayor Pro Tem Henderson.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. First off, definitely want to thank city staff, the community, and those that supported us putting the actual banners up along the city. Our banners were recognizing our elected officials, present and past. I think that's a great touch to our city, and it reminds us all to celebrate our own diversity within our city. It's great when you look at the banners to see the different demographic groups represented and gender groups represented to our leadership. So our community does support diversity within the demographic groups. Since our last meeting, I did a swearing in of Trustee Nichelle Henderson for Los Angeles Community College District. She won her seat 5. I did go to our SCAG Regional Council meeting. It was a rip-roaring meeting, as we all talked about us pushing back on the RENA numbers. So that was a lot of fun and a lot of discussion. I went to my BizFed executive committee meeting and their COVID task force meeting, and all the discussions centered around what we need to do or how we can actually open the economy back up. So it's a big thing that's on everybody's mind. Another topic that came up was something coming from LA County in regards to providing hero pay for those that are working in the grocery industry. So there's a lot of spirited dialogue around that and everything. So we're still discussing that issue. Then I participated in a government technology event that talked about what it looks like for government after we come out of this. With COVID and with us working a lot virtually and everything, we've gained some efficiencies with going virtual. And when we go back, we then have to figure out how we make hybrid solutions for our community as far as services go and everything. Now that we've seen that virtual can work, but we still have some physical things we need to do, and to kind of get a hybrid solution that provides better service to our community as we work to improve. So that was pretty interesting. I think right now, all communities are just hoping we get out of COVID pretty soon so we can start getting our economic engines back going, because the longer this goes, the tougher it gets for us. That's why I'm glad our city definitely had the courage to participate in the local control initiative, because that's important. I think we know our city better than anybody. And if we could control how we work our economy, even in the midst of a pandemic, I think we'd be in a good spot. So, Madam Mayor, That ends my report, and I want to thank everybody for the well wishes as I improve to get better. I'm not quite myself yet, but I'm getting close. So I want to thank all the well wishes and everything. And so ends my report. You're muted.
Can you hear me now? Okay, thank you for your report, and we're happy to have you back, and we're glad you're doing better. Next up is Councilmember Francis.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to see you all. Like I said before I started, I haven't seen you all since last year, so it's good to see you. Since we last met, I participated in the beautification committee and assisted them in selecting our home holiday home decorating contest winners, and congratulations to all the winners. There were 26 beautiful, and those weren't the only ones. There were those ones that submitted a picture of their homes, but there were some beautiful homes all over Gardena. And so I hope next year's contest, more folks will participate so we can have even more. But it was a real treat driving through the city to look at all the homes that were decorated for the holiday. I want to thank you to Mr. Dela Cruz for his report on Dine in Restaurant Week. Again, as always, I got more than I expected. I was just asking for an evaluation about the restaurant participants to see how they like the program, whether it worked for them. And I got a whole nice report about the number of Instagram contacts and followers we have on Instagram. And it says 22,000 impressions, total people reached just about Dine in Gardena. So, but all that would be for nothing if we don't come out and support our restaurants. Kind of make a commitment to at least once a week, go get some takeout. We have some wonderful restaurants here. And I also want to thank Mr. Thomas in Public Works for improving the appearance of 135th Street. It's looking so much better. It's a busy street, and it does, people do toss trash there, but thank you so much for trying to make a difference. People would judge our city by the street that they travel. And the street is nice and clean and neat and well paved. They'll say, wow, this is a good city. They have nice streets. So thank you so much for that. And also, if I can just do a little plug here, the City of Gardena and the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Cultural Committee, I can't show it to you, but we're having a raffle. We're raffling off a gift basket to support our scholarship program. The tickets are $5. And you can visit our website, citygardena.org/events to get your tickets. And the tickets are $5. It's a wonderful looking gift basket. I can't see everything in it, but it'll be well worth the $5. And the drive will be held on March 1st. You'll hear more from that. So, and thank you to all our Gardena community schools. I'm so happy I reached out to our superintendent, Mike Romero, to help establish this partnership between our city and our Gardena community schools, because when the committee wanted to do an essay contest, we were trying to figure out how we're going to go from school to school. And then we remembered we have an administrator. We sent the essay question to Ms. Martinez and to Superintendent Romero. All the schools were contacted, and as a result, we had almost 200 essays that we all read. That's how I spent my Christmas vacation. So, but it was wonderful. After reading the essays by all the young people, we're in good hands. We're going to be okay. Our future is bright. And there's some good teaching going on in the City of Gardena schools. So thank you for that. And again, congratulations to Rachel and Philip Johnson, Lady Grand Marshals, and we'll see you all January 15th, 2022 for our annual MLK parade, commemoration parade. Thank you so much. And better days are ahead. We're going to come out of this okay. Just keep the faith. Better days ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For myself, since the last council meeting, I had my monthly CCGA meeting for the card rooms, as well as my monthly sanitation meeting, and pretty mundane meetings. But just a couple of things I just want to mention to everybody. I noticed as I'm driving around the city, I'm starting to see a lot more graffiti going on. And I want to remind our residents, please help us out by using Gardena Direct. So if you see something, definitely report it. As much as I have people walk up to me and go, you should just know this, I have to remind everybody, I don't drive down every single street. We're all in this together. So I will always report as much as I can, but I also need the help of our community. So if you see graffiti anywhere, just take a couple of moments to do Gardena Direct. It only takes about 20 seconds. I'm really quick with it with just one hand, and take a picture. It'll find your location and just report it. And after that, you're done with it. Staff will get on as soon as possible. So I think it's really important that, as I said, you know, we all do our part because we're all in this together. And then just lastly, it was mentioned earlier, we won't have our traditional parade for Dr. Martin Luther King, recognition of him, but hopefully on Monday, I believe it's the 18th, I hope everybody just takes a couple of moments just to think about his life and what he did to help all of us. It's not just African-American people, but it's the community as a whole, all different races. So don't just take it as a day off, even though I know a lot of you guys are working from home, or all of us are probably working from home. But again, take a few moments to just reflect on that. And, you know, we can all do something to make life a little bit better for everybody in the way, the things that we do and the way that we think, and moving forward, and the way that we bring up our children, and making sure they know that some of the sacrifices that our previous ancestors paid as we move forward. So with that, I want to just end my report. And next up is Councilmember Tanaka. You're muted still.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. Happy New Year to everybody. A special thanks to Recreation Parks for all they did, Human Services, all they did last year. I don't know how they did it. It was every week we had something, and they were on top of it. So thank you very much for all the staff and everybody that did all that great work for us. Attended a community food giveaway with the city. Recreation and Human Services actually came to the Elks one night and did a random acts of kindness, gave away a lot of free stuff to people that just because it was a great event. Attended the South Bay COGS. I'm on the committee. We're looking into a South Bay health department of having our own, getting away from the county. We're working on that. We're not getting much help from the health department and how to go about it, what it costs, those kind of things. So the committee's still working on that right now. It's a work in progress, but it's kind of a consensus that if we can afford to do it, we're going to try to break away like Pasadena and Long Beach and have our own, so we can have that local control again and make our wise decisions for ourselves instead of being clumped in with the county. So that's going on. Attended the League of California Cities meeting. I think his name was Mike Madrid. He was kind of the spearhead of the Lincoln Project. It was Republicans that were putting out information regards to the elections and stuff. So that was kind of a lengthy and informative kind of a meeting. South Bay COG, again, I had the steering committee today, and we talked a lot about what's going on in the South Bay, how COVID's affecting everybody, and the things that we as a group of South Bay cities really need to kind of hang together right now and take care of business so that we can continue being strong. RENA came up, the health department issue came up. So there's a lot of things that we discussed, and Thursday is our actual meeting. So that's coming up. Congratulations to my cohort, Cedric Hicks, who was sworn in tonight for Carson City Council, along with, I believe it was the new mayor.
Lula Davis.
Yes, Lula Davis, and another council person, Juwan Hilton. So congratulations to them. They were on virtual today on the TV, so I missed it. Blood drive, like the city manager said, please sign up for the blood drive. It's very easy to do. Go online. I've already done it. I've got my time for that day. It takes a few minutes and you'll get a time slot. People need blood right now. Blood drives are everywhere. Westchester Elks is having one, so it's a need. Your blood could save somebody, especially right now during this issue of COVID. Let's see. I guess the last thing is, it's kind of sad that we're not going to have a Martin Luther King parade, but you know what? Celebrate Martin Luther King week and celebrate it with pride. And you know what? Make your dreams come true. That's all you have to do is make those dreams come true. So, Madam Mayor, that ends my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So just a couple of quick announcements. It's been mentioned a couple of times already. So let me just say it one more time. City of Gardena is hosting a UCLA blood drive on Tuesday, February 9th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Rush Gym, which is located at 1651 West 162nd Street in Gardena. We're asking people to go online at www.ucedonor.com and click on blood drive and enter COG in the account code box. This will help so that you can get your appointment time so that we are safely being allowed to donate blood. If you have any questions, you can shoot an email to N as in Nancy, LAI at mednet.ucla.edu. And, or you can probably call the City of Gardena if you have any other additional questions. Also, we want to mention the Help Support the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Culture Committee of Gardena Scholarship Program and win an awesome basket. Tickets are only $5. The drawing will be held on March 1st, 2021. You can purchase your tickets at www.cityofgardena.org/events. All the proceeds will benefit the MLK Scholarship Program. This program has been an annual tradition for the last 48 years, and scholarships are issued to Gardena students. If you have any questions, you can call 310-217-9537, and they are on City of Gardena's or on social media sites at cityofgardena.org, on the city's Facebook account at Gardena Events, or on the city's Instagram at Gardena Events. So with that,
Madam Mayor.
yes, did I miss something?
Oh.
Go ahead, Paulette, Councilwoman Francis.
Just quickly, and charge to my head and not my heart, but I would like to congratulate Councilmember Henderson's better half, his other half, Michelle Henderson. Michelle Henderson for her victory at Emory Community College School District seat number 5.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah, congratulations.
That's right. She'll be representing us well.
Yeah, an outstanding campaign during COVID. They said it couldn't be done, but she did it. And
absolutely. Definitely my better half.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for the moment, Mayor.
No problem.
Mayor Serta?
Yes, go ahead.
I also want to do a shout out to Councilman Cascanian, whose birthday is on Thursday, the 14th.
Okay.
He says he's going to be 28, so congratulations. I'm sure he'll be watching this video later. So happy birthday.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Councilman Cascanian. Happy birthday. Okay. With that being said, let's move on to remembrances. Tonight, we're going to adjourn in memory of Mr. Gary Toyo Miyataki, who was 69 years of age, beloved photographer of Toyo Photography. He had been a photographer for over 50 years and photographed many of the City of Gardena council members. It's definitely going to be a loss to the Gardena community. I couldn't believe it actually, even when I read this. So before we adjourn tonight's meeting, we just want to remind everybody, please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. Please continue practicing washing your hands, wear your mask. And I'm sure, as you heard many of our reports, a lot of us have been trying to stay in just to stay safe. So if you don't have to go out, don't go out. But we still want to encourage you to support our local restaurants. So if you're going to get takeout, get it real quick and get back in and stay covered up there. So with that, I'm going to move on to adjournments. The Gardena City Council will adjourn to our closed session portion of the City Council meeting at 7 p.m. followed by a regular city council meeting at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, January 26, 2021. And we are adjourned at this time.
All right. Good night, all. Wear your mask.
Good night.
Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Good night.
Good night.
Don't touch your face.